of Hormuz, the diplomacy, what's at stake for the India-Iran relationship, and what do top economists say when they decode the global economy from here on. All that's lined up in this edition of India Sends. I'm Gaurie Dwivedi. A quick check of the big stories that we have for you this week. In a big boost to India's LPG needs, two ships, Shivalik and Nanda Devi, passed through the Strait of Hormuz. The two ships successfully passed through the most volatile maritime area in the world. As the war starts taking a massive toll on India and Indians, Prime Minister Modi speaks with Iranian President Pezeshkian. While India needs safety and stability, Iran is seeking New Delhi's support as the BRICS chair. With LPG connections rising from 56% to almost 100% in 10 years, as India chases clean cooking sources, we explain why the shortage this time around is none like in the past.
We will hit the international economy, and it'll hit India particularly hard because India is the third largest oil importer in the world, actually. Huge imports of oil going into India.
And top global economist Steve Hanke speaks to NDTV as he decodes the impact of the war on the Indian economy, suggests the impact on inflation may not be immediate and so pronounced. And that's often pearl on fire as US strikes Iran's Karg Island, Iran's critical oil island that's been struck by US. It's day 15 of the conflict that began with American and Israeli strikes on Iran, and since then, this war has only expanded to include the entire Middle East. There have been fresh attacks that have taken place on Dubai today, on day 15, even as reports indicate additional 2,500 American troops and warships for the region that have been committed by the Trump administration, while US has bombed Karg Island. Let's get you all the details that are really coming in right now on day 15 of this conflict, which is continuing to evolve into more and more aspects. Now, in the last 48 hours, two very important developments have taken place. Two Indian ships have successfully passed through the Strait of Hormuz after Prime Minister Modi spoke to Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. And this call was followed by External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar speaking to his Iranian counterpart. And as Shivalik and Nanda Devi, the two ships that passed through one of the most volatile maritime routes in the world, it's clear that India's quiet diplomacy has delivered for New Delhi and for Indians. Listen in.
India is our suffering and vice versa. And for this reason, governments of India help us. And we should help the government of India because we have common faith, common interest. We believe as an ambassador in India, we believe that common faith, we have common faith in the region. And for this reason, all the high-ranking officials from Iran instructed the embassy of Iran in India that paved the way for the Indian government.
Now let's understand, when you talk about the India-Iran relationship, why it is so important for both sides. And we're going to put that out, what exactly is in it for both India and Iran from the discussions that have taken place and why that relationship is so important. Now, first up, what exactly does Iran want right now in the situation that it is in present? First and foremost, it wants political legitimacy. There is a new leader that has come now, and Mustafa Khamenei needs political legitimacy for his regime to survive and thrive. As far as India is concerned, India needs, most importantly, protection of the large diaspora. There are about 10 million odd people who stay there. They can't, of course, be evacuated. Their safety, their stability, their security is of number one importance to India. Let's move ahead and tell you what else. For Iran, BRICS and India's support is important. India is chairing BRICS this year. BRICS did back Iran last year, but not till now. And that is why India's role becomes that much more crucial. And that's what Iran is really looking from India this time around. As the chair of BRICS, it wants the global south to be backing it. From India's point of view, uninterrupted flow of remittances. That's very important. This is a region that provides billions and billions of dollars. India is the largest India is one of the largest places where remittances come in. The flow is the largest, and a large part of that comes from this region, which is why it's so important. Maintaining trade ties is equally important as far as Iran is concerned. So that is essentially what's in it for both sides when they look to ensure that they are able to not just protect the relationship, but also ensure that both sides, their core interests, are actually protected. Now, as far as the war in the Middle East is concerned, it's now spilling far beyond the region, bringing its costs tragically home to India as well. It's been 2 weeks. 3 Indians have been killed and several have been injured as well due to the maritime attacks that have intensified in the Strait of Hormuz. These deaths on what should be routine commercial routes underscore how a conflict that's thousands of kilometers away can actually transform into a direct human toll for Indian families. One of the other concerns why India and Iran are looking to ensure that they manage to cover this important aspect for India as well. India has one of the largest expat populations in the Gulf, millions living and working, and thousands more depend on maritime trade routes through the Strait of Hormuz for a steady flow of both energy and goods. India cannot afford to remain silent. There must be a comprehensive strategy to protect its diaspora. It's already doing that. Mandatory risk assessments for workers in conflict-prone regions should be the next key aspect. Emergency evacuation protocols and demand guarantees of safety for its citizens. All those are there, SOPs that are normally there, but need to now be activated. Quiet diplomatic efforts have triumphed so far. But as the death toll tragically looks like it's set to grow, New Delhi now must go beyond just back channels, pushing all parties to come to the table before more civilians are caught in the crossfire of a war that they did not start, and they have unfortunately now become more than just a bystander. Now, this isn't the first time, viewers, that tensions in the Middle East have come to light, but this is the first time that the Strait of Hormuz has been shut, making availability of crude and energy now a matter of deep concern. But there's more in this story, and why is it that reports were coming out as far as shortage of LPG or reduced supply are concerned? And we're going to put those data points here. Well, the reason for it lies in the sheer number of LPG connections in India that have grown. India has been chasing clean cooking sources. The coverage of LPG, believe it or not, is now 100%, up from 56% in 2015. These are due to government schemes that have been extremely commendable. And the active consumer base has also doubled from about 15 crore to 33.3 crore. You're seeing some of those numbers on your screens. And that tells you why suddenly this crisis or this situation was unlike any other. Even as the import dependency remains. You see that on your screens. We continue to remain extremely dependent on imports. It was about 56% 5 years back. It is 59%. Now, on the production side, in terms of numbers, they haven't kept up with the demand. So, India imported about 18.5 million tons in FY24 to about 20.8 million tons last year. And this year, till January alone, that number is 10.7 million tons. So, viewers, if you add up all the numbers, they tell the story. On one end, the LPG connections have really soared because cheap cooking, at the same time, clean cooking is being prioritized. Unfortunately, this demand is not being met with adequate amount of production. Listen in to what has been said as far as the LPG issue is concerned.
इस युद्ध ने पूरे विश्व को बहुत बड़े ऊर्जा संकट में धकेल दिया है। साथियों, ऐसी विकट परिस्थितियों में बहुत अहम है कि एक देश के तौर पर हम इसका मुकाबला कैसे करते हैं।
Now, the war in Iran, sparked by US and Israeli strikes, has set off a global energy shockwave, and one of the biggest beneficiaries so far is Vladimir Putin and Russia. While Moscow has largely stayed on the sidelines of the fighting, the conflict has pushed oil prices sharply higher, above $100 a barrel, creating a revenue windfall for an economy that's been battered by sanctions and a slump in energy revenues. President Donald Trump's biggest misconception is that Putin wants peace. But even he doesn't believe it anymore, saying he believes Putin is helping Iran against American and Israeli attacks. Listen in. All right, let's tell you exactly how that adds up in terms of why is it that we are saying that Trump's war is actually Putin's lottery. The ongoing conflict in the Middle East is proving to be an unexpected windfall for Vladimir Putin. The economic boost has been substantial. Global oil prices have surged past $100 a barrel, giving Russia $6.5 billion in 1 week in terms of revenue boost. This is just 1 week. We are already 15 days into the conflict. Adding to Moscow's advantage, the US has offered a 30-day sanctions relief on Russian oil, giving the Kremlin both financial breathing room as well as deep leverage when it comes to global energy, diplomacy, as well as geopolitical diversion. As attention aid shifts towards the Middle East, Russia has now the opportunity to recalibrate its war strategy. Additional oil revenue at the end of the day means Moscow can now sustain and continue to increase its military spending. It strengthens its position on multiple fronts. Strategic advantage as far as Russia is concerned. Beyond economics, the temporary chaos has actually strengthened Vladimir Putin's hand globally. Energy diplomacy, high oil revenues, and a distracted world provides that short-term strategic breathing room that Vladimir Putin has been seeking for months now, letting the Kremlin maneuver with greater freedom while the world watches the Middle East. Well, in short, while conflict rages far from Moscow, Putin is quietly turning global turmoil into a strategic and financial advantage. All right, we now turn attention and get you one of the biggest voices in global economics. Professor Steve Hanke, who's an American economist, professor of applied economics, joins us on the broadcast on India Essence. Professor Hanke, thank you so much for speaking to us. Let me start by asking you, 15 days into this conflict, global energy markets have been battered. India actually is one of the largest importers of oil. How do you think this is going to impact us going forward?
Obviously will hit the international economy, and it'll hit India particularly hard because India is the third largest oil importer in the world, actually. Huge imports of oil going into India. So let's talk about the price increase as it affects not only the world economy, but kind of focus on India a little bit. And it'll be a big hit in India if the price of oil goes up to $120 a barrel, which some are predicting, or if it goes to $200 a barrel, which the Iranians say that it might. Now, the effect will come in the following form. It will increase the current account deficit that's already quite large in India, and it will play havoc with the rupee, which continues to make all-time lows. So that's one big factor. The other big factor as it relates to India, it isn't oil per se, but it's just the massive logistical connection between India and the Gulf states. This is a very important aspect. The disruption of logistics is a nightmare for India because India is very dependent on the Gulf in terms of its logistical connections. So that's another factor. How about fertilizer? A third of the fertilizer in the world is coming out of the Gulf. It's not only just oil, but fertilizer. And Indonesia, China, and India use a lot of that fertilizer, as well as African countries. So it's going to be a big hit for agriculture if this continues in India. because of the increase in fertilizer prices that will occur.
Okay, that's a fair concern. But where do you see this war headed and the kind of collateral economic damage that you're talking about, given the fact that the Strait of Hormuz continues to remain blocked, and that is what Iran has made it clear?
I see it going very bad for the aggressors against Iran. Iran holds the cards now. They control commerce and economic activity as it relates to not only the Strait of Hormuz, but the Gulf region in general. So this is a real problem because it's going to be a long run problem. And it's very clear that the Iranians have demanded, and if there is some peace, it's going to be on the Iranian terms. They're basically playing hardball, and they're in a position to do so. This is contrary to the Western propaganda. Iran holds a lot of cards. Iran is not collapsing and won't collapse. Iran has been around for thousands of years, of course, Persia, and it's just not going away. This was a major miscalculation, this Israeli attack, because the Israelis attacked first and drew Trump into the trap. Since 9/11, there's been no American president that has ever been drawn into the Israeli trap of attacking Iran. But Trump fell into the trap.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Trump has fallen into the trap, but I'm going to ask you about the economic solutions from here on, Professor Hanke, given that you're saying that the fallout could be intense.
The main thing is to make certain that the central banks don't accelerate the growth in the money supply in the various countries that are involved. For example, the Reserve Bank has been doing a pretty good job, and I hope that they don't take a decision to accelerate the growth rate in the money supply, because if they do, you will have inflation. If they don't accelerate the growth rate in the money supply, and in fact, if they tame it just a little bit, tighten it a little bit, you won't have inflation.
Okay.
That's the key. In other words, I think that slower growth is baked in the cake. The one thing that isn't baked in the cake is inflation, because oil price increases don't cause inflation. They cause the relative price of oil and oil products to go up compared to everything else. But if the money supply is controlled, inflation will be controlled.
Okay, so slower growth is baked in the cake is what you're saying. But before I end this conversation, so I have to ask you about the Middle East. It's been impacted, it's been battered. It's the epitome of luxury, prosperity. How will that region recover from where it stands today?
Well, let's relate this to India. My advice for the Modi government would be to continue with a strategic autonomy approach and convince the Gulf states that instead of putting all their eggs in the U.S. basket, they should be hedging themselves and tilting towards India as a hedge. So they should become closer to India and, if I may, China, and less close and less reliant on the United States. That's the lesson. The Gulf states are not hedged. They have all their eggs in one basket, the United States of America. And I would advise the Gulf states to hedge themselves, and the important hedge, there are two, in India, China.
That's the big headline, Professor Hanke, that you gave us right there, which is that Gulf states should hedge themselves against America and should probably look at deeper economic linkages with India. Thanks so much for speaking to us on India Sense. Viewers, as we wrap this edition of India Sense, we leave you with probably what is essentially the video of the week. What you see on your screens is that US boat that was struck by unmanned boats off the coast of Iraq. Those visuals, essentially, is that big video of the week.
انهدام نفتکش امریکایی در محدوده شمال خلیج فارس.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो पतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice,
The latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions.
it's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter prime minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran.
Just behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
An NDTV World exclusive to Aditya Raj called Benjamin Netanyahu on NDTV.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Call, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network. In a month that moved markets, shifted diplomacy,
the entire world,
and stirred political battlegrounds, India chose its news carefully. NDTV India and NDTV 24/7 #1 on YouTube. NDTV Network, streaming India's trust, leading India's conversations.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Straight from the heart of the news.
A very good evening. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Dwivedi. We have news coming about of Iran's Navy claiming strikes on US forces in Abu Dhabi and in Bahrain. Several consecutive waves of attacks have taken place on US military bases. That's the Al Dhafra base in Abu Dhabi and the Sheikh Isa base in Bahrain. We're going to get you details first. The headlines. Massive escalation has taken place. The US has bombed this very key oil hub of the Gaurie island in Iran, and Trump says only military targets were hit, but is warning of strikes on oil infrastructure. Iran is saying if their oil infrastructure is targeted, they are going to retaliate even further. Iran strikes the US embassy in Baghdad. Iraqi sources have said that this has in fact targeted the radar as well as the helipad there. And in Saudi Arabia, explosions have been reported from the Prince Sultan Air Base as the conflict only widens on day 15 of the war. And government confirms that two India-flagged LPG carriers, the Shivalik and the Nanda Devi, transited the Strait of Hormuz this morning, late last night, early this morning, and they are expected to arrive here in India on the 16th of March and the 17th of March at the Kandla port and the Mundra port. There are 22 Indian-flagged vessels that still remain in the Persian Gulf, carrying over 600 seafarers. To remember, the two ships that are headed here are carrying LPG. Government says LPG supply remains a matter of concern due to ongoing geopolitical situation, but maintains that no stockout has been reported so far. The government once again appeals that panic booking should be avoided. And huge relief coming about for activist Sonam Wangchuk. He's out of detention. He had been in detention since the 26th of September last year. The government says the move aims to restore peace. And today marks the day when Yo-Yo Honey Singh is going to be taking to the stage live here at the national capital, part of My Story, the India chapter of his world tour, curated by NDTV's Good Times. The concert starts at 7 p.m. this evening in Delhi, followed by concerts in other cities, including Mumbai. Let's begin with breaking news coming in this evening at 5 p.m. You're watching NDTV, and here we have information coming about of Iran. They're claiming fresh strikes on US bases. Iran has said that US forces were targeted in the UAE, in Bahrain as well. We're talking about the Al Dhafra base in Abu Dhabi that has been struck, and in Bahrain it's the Sheikh Isa base that has been targeted. So the Sheikh Isa base in Bahrain has been struck, and this is after Iran warned. In fact, Iran has gone ahead and said that it will be targeting military areas, ports and docks in the UAE, but it hasn't been confined just to the UAE. It was in fact urging the Muslim population, the residents, to evacuate those particular areas where the ports and the docks and the military bases are, saying that you need to leave those areas in order to avoid any kind of harm from coming to you. And here we have not just in the UAE, it's Abu Dhabi's Al Dhafra. Do remember, it was attacked on day 1 of the conflict, and now again Al Dhafra has come under attack. But also not just the UAE, but also in Bahrain, the Sheikh Isa base that has been targeted. So here we have the drone attack that has also taken place. There have been multiple attacks. This is in retaliation to what has been done. Do remember, in Iran, a very crucial oil hub, the Gaurie island, was attacked. And after the Gaurie island was attacked, it was the United States saying that, we're not attacking the oil infrastructure, and that will be targeted provided that the Strait of Hormuz does not open up. That was the warning that was put out by the United States. Now, Iran there had also put out a warning saying that there are going to be repercussions of what has taken place. They have also said that they are going to avenge the death of the 104 crew members that were on board Iris Dana. The 104 crew members who were in fact part of a military exercise in the waters when that attack killed all those on board. Now, Gaurie, my colleague joining us, Gaurie Dwivedi, to get us the very latest. Gaurie, just as Iran, put out that warning, we've already seen that consecutive waves of attacks that have taken place. We're talking about the Al Dhafra base. This is the US base in Abu Dhabi, and the Sheikh Isa base in Bahrain. Both have come under attack. Take us through the kind of extent of damage, the scale of this operation.
Significant impact that has come in as far as these strikes that have been conducted by Iran. This is day 15, and you can sense the fact that your viewers tuning in right now, what they see on our screens are some of those video footage that is coming in of how Iran is very clear that they will continue to target American assets, American bases, American forces in the region. It also comes just hours after the Iranian army chief had said and vowed fresh retaliation. So in the wake of that, you can see more American bases actually being targeted. Let's not forget, America has already lost billions and billions of dollars worth of weaponry in this conflict already. It has also lost 13 servicemen, and with that, and all those were also strikes, some of which had actually taken place on its Qatar base. And in the wake of that, there are fresh strikes that have actually been conducted by Iran on American bases. We still don't know the extent of damage, whether or not there has been any potential loss of life per se, but what you see on your screens essentially tell you that Iran is absolutely clear. All American assets in the region will continue to be targeted. It has already vowed retaliation. To say which way this is headed, Divya, is extremely volatile and uncertain, because Iran is clear they're not going to stop right now. They will continue retaliation.
Right, Gaurie, they will continue retaliation. In fact, they're saying if their energy infrastructure is attacked, that is what they're going to do in the Gulf region, and that is the warning that's being put out by Iran. Now, this comes close on the heels of the United States striking that key energy hub, the Karg Island. Donald Trump, do remember, did say that this has been the most powerful bombing raid on the island, claiming all military targets were destroyed, warning that the US could escalate it further if Iran continues to block the Strait of Hormuz. Now, Iran has also issued a warning to the US and stated that the hideouts are legitimate targets after the US has struck that Karg Island. This is just located about 30 kilometers off Iran's Bushehr coast. Karg Island handles up to about 95% of Iran's crude exports and stores nearly 30 million barrels of oil. So that is now Iran saying that in retaliation to that, they're going to be targeting. They have the right to target, basically to protect their own territory and to take revenge for what has happened to them. And therefore, that is why the US legitimate targets is what they are looking at. These are the hideouts of the United States, whether it is the docks as well as the ports and the military bases, which obviously we have just seen with the Al Dhafra air base of the United States in Abu Dhabi coming under attack, and so is the Sheikh Isa in Bahrain. So that is the warning that the Iranian side is putting out. Also, what we saw earlier today was in Saudi Arabia, the Prince Sultan air base near Riyadh also came under attack, and this was after 6 incoming drones were intercepted.
Can't tell you that. I mean, I have my own idea, but what good does it do? It'll be as long as it's necessary. They've been decimated. Their country's in bad shape. The whole thing is collapsing. If you read some of the fake news, it's like, oh, they're doing wonderfully. They're not doing wonderfully. They're doing the opposite. They're doing as bad as you can have. I would say this. I won't give you time, but we're way ahead of schedule.
بسم الله قاسم الجبارين فمن اعتدى عليكم فاعتدوا عليه بمثل ما اعتدى عليكم واتقوا الله واعلموا ان الله مع المتقین. اخطار به رژیم متجاوز و شکست خورده آمریکا در پاسخ به اظهارات رئیس جمهور متجاوز و تروریست آمریکا اعلام می‌داریم در صورت حمله به زیرساخت‌های نفتی، اقتصادی و انرژی جمهوری اسلامی ایران، همانطور که قبلا اخطار داده بودیم، بلا فاصله کلیه زیرساخت‌های نفتی، اقتصادی و انرژی متعلق به شرکت‌های نفتی در سراسر منطقه که دارای سهام آمریکایی میباشند و یا با آمریکا همکاری میکنند نابود و به تلی از خاکستر تبدیل خواهند شد. ان الله عزیز ذو انتقام. در راستای شکارهای مدافعان آسمان کشور 2 فروند پهپاد MQ-9 در فیروزآباد و بندرعباس و 1 هواگرد دیگر در آسمان تبریز توسط سامانه‌های پدافند هوایی سپاه و تحت کنترل شبکه یکپارچه پدافند هوایی کشور رهگیری و منهدم شد. آمار کل پهپادهای منهدم شده تا این لحظه به 112 فروند از انواع مختلف پهپادهای رزمی، شناسایی و انتحاری رسیده است.
Let's also get you these are dramatic visuals that are coming about since early this morning. First, let's get you images of an Israeli strike that has taken place at this area in Lebanon's Sidon. This is a residential area full of innocent civilians where the target was this particular area. The blast has been caught on camera and the residential block has in fact sent off this wave of panic in the neighborhood. We'll also get you visuals released by the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, showing that what they're saying are Hezbollah operatives hauling rockets into a weapons storage site in the southern part of Lebanon. Moments later, that video cuts to the powerful airstrike that's taken place, an explosion ripping through the depot, sending flames and debris soaring into the night sky. The IDF saying that the strike targeted the rocket stockpile before it could be used on them. Let's just also get you these visuals of the Fujairah fort in the UAE that came under attack. Oil storage facility at the Fujairah fort has come under attack early this morning. The blast sparked this major fire at the terminal, and this is the smoke that you're seeing billowing from the area. Now, there are oil loading operations that have been suspended for the time being. Thick smoke was seen billowing over the US embassy that's come under attack in Baghdad, the Iraqi capital, again being targeted. Do remember that earlier as well, the US embassy in Baghdad was attacked. It came under attack. It was near the embassy. This time around, this has been the closest they've gotten into the fortified green zone, sending alarm sirens blaring across the diplomatic district. This is a direct hit on a key American facility in Iraq. And a major escalation that has been reported indicating ballistic missiles that were launched from Bahrain towards Iran, marking what could be the first attack from a Gulf country on the Iranian soil. And Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard has said that they went ahead and carried out that 47th wave. This is the latest attack of missile strikes under Operation True Promise 4, claiming the barrage targeted Israeli positions across occupied territories, signaling that the campaign is far from over. In fact, Iran is saying that they're not ready to negotiate. They were ready earlier, but they came under attack. Here are dramatic visuals coming about. Now, this is the exact moment when an Iranian missile struck Israel's airbase. The impact that you can see within seconds of that launch. Central part of Israel also came under attack after an Iranian missile struck the location. Firefighters and rescue teams quickly secured the area. This is in fact, the central part. It is called Holon, where the attack took place. Let's get you the latest in regard to Prime Minister Modi. Do remember Prime Minister Modi was in fact in Kolkata holding that poll-bound rally in the poll-bound state of Kolkata, hitting out at Mamata Banerjee's government. The Prime Minister there talking about the Parivartan pitch in the poll-bound state, promising to defeat the TBMC in the elections coming up in West Bengal. He in fact has spoken about the Maha Jungle Raj and said that that really needs to be eradicated. Let's listen in to Prime Minister Modi.
अभी कुछ दिन पहले हमारे देश की महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदिवासी समाज की बेटी आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी बंगाल आई थी। उन्हें संथाल आदिवासी परंपरा के पावन उत्सव में शामिल होना था, लेकिन अहंकार में डूबी इस निर्मम सरकार ने न केवल उस कार्यक्रम का बहिष्कार किया, बल्कि उसे पूरी तरह बदइंतजामी के हवाले कर दिया। क्योंकि एक आदिवासी बेटी इतने बड़े पद पर है, टीएमसी वालों को उनका सम्मान मंजूर नहीं हुआ। उन्होंने करोड़ों आदिवासियों का अपमान किया है। उन्होंने करोड़ों महिलाओं के सम्मान को ठेस पहुंचाई है। उन्होंने देश के सर्वोच्च पद की गरिमा को ठेस पहुंचाई है। इन्होंने भारत के संविधान का अपमान किया है। इन्होंने बाबा साहब आंबेडकर का अपमान किया है। और इसका जवाब बंगाल के लोगों से टीएमसी को मिलने वाला है, निर्मम सरकार को मिलने वाला है। ये टीएमसी मां, माटी, मानुष के नारे पे सत्ता में आई थी। आज वही मां रो रही है, माटी को लूटा जा रहा है। घुसपैठियों की वजह से आज बंगाल की रोटी, बेटी, माटी, उस पर सबसे बड़ा खतरा आ गया है। ये लोग बंगाल के लोगों का रोजगार छीन रहे हैं। हमारी बहन बेटियों की सुरक्षा खतरे में पड़ गई है। और बंगाल के लोगों की जमीनों पर, बंगाल की माटी पर इन घुसपैठियों का कब्जा दिलवाया जा रहा है। बंगाल में बदलाव अब दीवारों पर भी लुक चुका है और बंगाल के लोगों के दिलों में भी छप चुका है। अब बंगाल से निर्मम सरकार का अंत होकर रहेगा। अब बंगाल से महाजंगल राज का खात्मा होगा।
Shashi, joining us, Shashi, to walk us through the details of the rally that's taken place by Prime Minister Modi. We do know that he has unveiled connectivity projects to the tune of 18,680 crores in West Bengal today. But, before the rally, we did see a lot of protests taking place. We saw that fallout that erupted between the BJP supporters and the TMC supporters. But it is the Prime Minister saying that, the rule of law will return to Bengal after these elections that are coming up in the state.
Well, that's right. It's going to be a fierce political battle between the BJP and the Trinamool Congress in West Bengal. On one hand, the Trinamool Congress has completed 3 consecutive terms. Here in West Bengal, the BJP has not ever come to power. So it is the principal challenger to the Trinamool Congress in the state. And of course, everyone is waiting for the election dates to be announced. And at a time like that, the Prime Minister coming to Kolkata and setting the political tone for the BJP holds significance for the party that is looking to challenge the Trinamool Congress here in the state of West Bengal. Now, the Prime Minister has raised corruption allegations of central schemes not being imposed here in the state of West Bengal. But the Trinamool Congress has countered those allegations in its press conference here in Kolkata today, saying that, the kind of development work that the Trinamool Congress has done without the central schemes and the funds that are blocked is still being done by the state government. But of course, all eyes are going to be on the elections here in the state of West Bengal, where the BJP and the Trinamool Congress will
stressing on how, right, Shri, that people in West Bengal are angry against TMC's corruption, cut money syndicates, violence and years of misrule is what Prime Minister Modi said at that rally that took place in Kolkata. Now, just ahead of that rally, there was tension that erupted in the city. There were clashes that erupted between the supporters of the TMC and the BJP in central part of Kolkata. This is the Girish Park area. And in fact, barely half an hour before Prime Minister Modi was scheduled to address that rally at the Brigade Parade Ground, violence involved stone pelting, abuses and mutual accusations of provocation. TMC has also alleged that stones were hurled at the residence of West Bengal Minister Shashi Panja's residence. Bengal Minister Shashi Panja in fact went ahead to claim that she was attacked with bricks and stones, allegedly by BJP supporters.
ইট বোতল লাঠি সোটা নিয়ে আমাদের তৃণমূল কংগ্রেস সমর্থক আমাকেও আক্রমণ করেছে মেরেছে এরা গুন্ডা শুধু নয় এরা খুনি
Well, it's that time when, it is time to get you some entertainment news. And after months of anticipation, rapper and music producer Yo-Yo Honey Singh is going to be taking the stage live this evening in the national capital. He's kicking off the India chapter of this world tour, My Story in Delhi, curated by NDTV's Good Times. And NDTV's Good Times, Rahul Shaw spoke with him. Let's listen in.
Well, I'm right here at Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium Arena here in New Delhi, where in moments from now, NDTV Good Times, Yo-Yo Honey Singh, My Story, India chapter, the concert will take place right here. It's going to be a jam-packed audience, but let's go across to NDTV Good Times Chief Experiences Officer Rahul Shaw, who's right here, the man behind the concert. Rahul, how excited are you?
Oh, don't ask me. Sleepless nights, it's like a kid who's wanting to see what he wants to see.
Rahul, we are expecting 25,000 spectators here, and of course, Honey Singh back on stage after too many years.
Not really many years. He did the Millennium Tour about a year back, but what you see now is going to be a completely different act, completely different story. You will not see anything that he has done before. It's completely different. In fact, he narrates a story about himself through this concert.
That's what the fans are most excited about, that this concert is not something usual, because we'll see Honey Singh narrate his journey to the stardom. But can you give us more sneak peek into what the fans can expect from this concert?
Fan can expect excitement, something that they've never seen, and something that they perhaps will never get to see. Right? It's very different to see a concert. It's very different to see a song on YouTube or here on Spotify. But what you see here, a story. It's a story that you see here, and that's what people would enjoy.
Absolutely. Honey Singh has been a contemporary pop culture icon. Rahul, if I can ask you, what's your favorite song of Honey Singh?
Brown Rung.
And the latest one that you really like, which we can expect Honey Singh to perform here, because we also know that he will also tell us as to why some of his songs have become such huge hits.
So I love Mafia, and I also love Jadugar.
Brown Rung is also my favorite, but thanks very much, Rahul, for getting us the latest. Stay tuned to NDTV Network as we get you all the latest of Yo-Yo Honey Singh's My Story India chapter.
Rahesha joining us from the Indira Gandhi Stadium, where the concert is going to start literally in an hour and a half time from now. 1.5 hours to go. Rahesha, take us to the excitement that's building up, the preparations that are on the stage that's almost set.
Right, Divya, as you can see, this is where the concert will take place. NDTV Good Times, Yo-Yo Honey Singh, My Story India chapter. I'll ask my cameraman, Rithvik, to just show you around. We're expecting 25,000 spectators here today. It is a one-of-its-kind concert. We say that because it's not a usual concert where he'll just come and sing songs, but what we're also going to expect is perhaps a lived experience for the spectators, because right here, that's the stage where Yo-Yo Honey Singh will be performing. He will be narrating his journey to stardom, how he achieved this kind of a success, how his favorite songs became such massive hits. Now, this is the first leg of Yo-Yo Honey Singh, My Story India chapter, right here in New Delhi. I'll just show you how the preparations are underway. A short while ago, there was some dance practice going on. Of course, security is tightened because there are a huge number of fans who've queued right outside the stadium. But it is right here, Divya, Divya, right here where I'm standing, where Yo-Yo Honey Singh will be performing in an hour and a half from now. We're expecting 25,000 spectators, and this is going to be one of its kind concert. The excitement is touching the roof. It's perhaps palpable, but we will be getting you all the live updates of Yo-Yo Honey Singh, My Story India chapter, only on NDTV Network. Back to you, Divya.
Extremely envious, Rahesha. I wish we could swap places. You could be here in the studio and I could have been there at the stadium to watch Yo-Yo Singh perform. Well, at 7 p.m. is the concert that starts here in the national capital, going to other cities as well. Rahesha, if you could talk us through the cities where these concerts are going to take place.
If that question was to me.
Yeah. Where else can we find Yo-Yo Singh performing after Delhi?
Right, absolutely. Right, absolutely, Divya. After Delhi, right, absolutely, he will be performing in Ahmedabad, in Bangalore, and various other cities. But as you can see, the music has started playing here because in an hour and a half from now, Yo-Yo Honey Singh will be arriving here on the stage. We also have with us Arun Singh, the host of the show today. Arun, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling on top of this world because this is such an exciting opportunity. So good to see you here.
Absolutely. We were just telling Divya and all our audiences that we're expecting 25,000 spectators. The music has started playing to perhaps up the atmosphere here. Lights and sounds, all of that. But Arun, your favorite song of Yo-Yo Honey Singh, and what are you most excited about?
So many songs. Of course, Blue Eyes, has to be because this is... at his, at his prime, but his prime never went. So it has been a great opportunity to be around him, sing his songs. And of course, I'm absolutely excited for some special appearances and also some surprise acts. There's going to be a lot, so I'm absolutely excited.
Yeah, thanks, Arun, for sharing that with all of us. That was Arun Singh. He'll be opening NDTV Good Times concert here in just an hour from now. But Divya, just showing you the background, the lights, and how the atmosphere is only building up because this is perhaps going to be one of the biggest concerts of Yo-Yo Honey Singh. We're expecting 25,000 spectators right here where I'm standing. Back to you, Divya.
Right, Rahesha, you forgot to ask me my favorite song. It has to be High Heels. Waiting for that, of course, and you are going to get to watch him live. We will keep coming back to you for more on that. With that, it's a wrap on this edition. News and updates will continue on the other side. Thank you for your time.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends.
It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions.
It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
The front lines of Kargil, the fury of Operation Sindhu,
so many attacks,
the chaos and cries of disaster zones. to fighter jet cockpits and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran.
Just behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
An NDTV World exclusive to Aditya Raj call. Benjamin Netanyahu on NDTV.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Call, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network. In a month that moved markets, shifted diplomacy,
The entire world.
and stirred political battlegrounds. India chose its news carefully. NDTV India and NDTV 24/7. #1 on YouTube. NDTV Network, streaming India's trust. Leading India's conversations.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause. I reflect. I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gaurie, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
First India tour in your city. Rock on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go, grab your tickets.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. In the outskirts of Jaipur in Rajasthan, hundreds of barley farmers gathered for the 6th Annual Barley Growers Day 2026, an initiative by AB InBev. At a time when climate risks are rising and cropping patterns are shifting, this event put the spotlight firmly on the farmer, focusing on safety, regenerative agriculture, and the localization of malt quality barley. Now, the day was more than just a celebration. It was about commitment from seed to sip.
In the winter light of Chomu on the outskirts of Jaipur, hundreds of barley farmers have gathered. Now, this isn't a seasonal meeting or a celebration, it's a convergence where recognition, technical knowledge, and a shared view of India's barley future come together. The 6th Annual Barley Growers Day brought together farmers, scientists, policymakers, and AB InBev leadership united by a simple belief: every great beer begins in the field, and strong global brands are rooted in strong local partnerships. This is the story of the Barley Growers Day 2026, hosted by AB InBev India, and how smart barley is helping strengthen India's barley ecosystem for the long term. It means for their mission to redefine India's barley ecosystem. Barley has been grown in India for centuries, but today the crop stands at a crossroads. Over the past decade, the barley growing acreage has declined as many farmers have moved to crops with assured procurement or minimum support price. Climate variability adds pressure. Heat stress during grain filling, erratic rainfall, and periodic droughts increase risk for growers. Yet, demand for high-quality, malt-grade barley continues to rise.
ABN कंपनी की वजह से हमारे पास बहुत अच्छा फ़ायदा हुआ और किसान भी एक जौ की तरफ अच्छी तरह प्रोग्रेस कर रहा है। पहले गेहूं की तरफ था, जौ को बंद कर दिया था, और अब ABN कंपनी हमारी इलाके में जाने के बाद में जौ को अच्छा बढ़ावा दे रहे हैं, और जौ से अच्छा मैंने खुद ने 3100 रुपये की पर क्विंटल के हिसाब से भी जौ बेचा है।
For malt-grade barley, quality and consistency is a non-negotiable. In this context, engagement with farmers isn't transactional. It's a long-term partnership focused on capability, resilience, and market linkage. Since 2009, through Smart Barley, AB InBev India has worked with more than 2,000 farmers across key barley belts. The program's ambition is clear: ensure every direct farmer is skilled, connected, and financially empowered.
Smart Barley is not just a procurement practice, right? Smart Barley majorly focuses on 3 pillars: skilled, connected, and financially independent farmers. So what Smart Barley offers to the farmers from a skill perspective, it's the multiple trainings across the farming cycle. When it comes to connected, we have our field officers who are regularly in touch with the farmers on the ground, while also digitally getting them connected with information, with prices, with best practices, all of that digitally as well. Financially independent in the sense that, we give the protocols and we help them, we train them in such a way that the yield is also at the maximum. We also make sure that they get the fair price for their produce as well.
India's agriculture team has delivered 100% performance against these 3 pillars for 3 consecutive years, but the human impact is what defines the program.
As the world's leading brewer, we prioritize our sustainability efforts on the topics that are most material to us. Aside from water and energy, this means agriculture crops, such as barley, hops, and rice, which provide the body, the soul, and the taste to our beers.
This year's theme, Cultivating Cheers, say farmers, regenerative fields, localized barley supply, signals a shift from yields along to yields with safety, soil health, and local resilience.
मैं इस बार पहली बार जुड़ा हूँ एवी कंपनी के साथ। पहले मैं कमलेश जी के साथ काम करता था, तो इसके बारे में सुना है मैंने, काफ़ी बढ़िया है। और इनकी जो टीम है, मिट्टी की जांच वगैरह कर फार्मर को साथ अच्छी तरह से जांच करके उसकी फसल के बारे में, बीज के बारे में और पेस्टिसाइड के बारे में पूरी जानकारी देते हैं। और जो इनकी बीज की जो क्वालिटी है वो बहुत बढ़िया क्वालिटी है। हम पहले परंपरागत खेती जो करते हैं उससे अच्छी बीज, प्रमाणित बीज और बढ़िया क्वालिटी के बीज, इससे में हमारे को बढ़िया प्रॉफिट आने वाला है। इसकी बालियाँ वगैरह और है, इसकी अच्छी है, हाइट है अच्छी है, इसकी जो ग्रोथ है और इसका फुटाव है वो बहुत ज़्यादा है।
From safe chemical handling and storage to responsible machinery use and heat safety protocols, farmer safety remains a core commitment.
From a farmer safety perspective, we focus majorly on the use of PPEs, smart storing of chemicals, disposal of containers. We also make sure that they are well hydrated during their farming work. It's very hot in the north, so we also make sure that there are some practices where they get some shade and they're able to take care of themselves as well.
New this year, the Bale Knowledge Hub, interactive hands-on modules covering plant nutrition, biological crop protection, digital advisory tools and quality assessment. The focus, not just how to grow more, but how to grow better, with regenerative practices at the center.
खेती तो हम लोग पहले भी करते ही थे, बट जब से इनके साथ करने लगे हैं तो ये थोड़ा साइंटिफिक तरीके से कराते हैं, प्लस में ये काफ़ी केयर भी करते हैं। और आई थिंक कि हर किसान के पास ना, जो इनके साथ जुड़ा हुआ है, ABL के साथ जो जुड़ा हुआ है, उनके पास एक डेडिकेटेड टीम है। हर किसान के पास एक टीम है, वो अकेला नहीं है, और ये हर स्टेप पे उनकी मदद करने के लिए खड़े होते हैं। आपका जब बोने से पहले जो प्रोसेस स्टार्ट होता है आपका सोल टेस्टिंग का, वो कराते हैं। वाटर टेस्टिंग भी ये लोग करा के देते हैं हम लोगों को, और एवरी ईयर हम लोगों को बताते हैं कि हमने कौन सी खाद किस मात्रा में कितनी खाद डालनी है।
Our agronomists and our researchers, they work directly with the farmers to skill, connect, and financially empower them. That is what is consistent all around the world. Specifically to India, what does it mean? We provide access to climate-resilient crop varieties that provide better yields to our farmers. We advise them with agronomic best practices, again, to increase the productivity of their crops. And we also give them access to financial tools and technical insights to further enhance their productivity. In the end, it's all about creating an environment where sustainable practices make economic sense beyond pure environmental sense.
Regenerative farming is more than just yield. It restores ecosystems while improving livelihoods. Historically, a significant share of India's malt barley needs were met through imports. Global disruptions accelerated a shift to local sourcing.
This year alone, we plan to procure 16,000 metric tons and above, right? Beer is a locally produced, locally sold product. This ensures that our farmers are equipped with the right tech, skill set, and protocols to maximize their yield. They have a predictable demand in the market, with the predictability of price also going up. So it's a win-win situation for both of us. For us as a AB InBev, as a global company, in our local operations, we are also assured of supply security. So we don't have to worry about the beer is made from barley, right? No barley, no beer. So that aspect for us also gets taken care of. It's a win-win situation where the community and the company.
But a farmer's most important tool isn't a tractor or an app, it's their eyesight. From seed selection to crop monitoring and harvest grading, farming is vision intensive. Yet, access to basic eye care can be limited in rural communities. Alongside the Knowledge Hub, AB InBev India ran a vision screening camp with Vision Spring Foundation.
Partnerships are integral to on-ground interventions for any corporate social responsibility initiative that any company takes. For the eye testing camps that we did at Bali Growers Day, Vision Spring has been our partner from last year, this year as well. And I think they bring their expertise at scale. They have the implementation guidelines, the robust reporting structure, the right enabler to not only screening the eyes of farmers, but also giving them, the right lenses, the right spectacles on the spot is something that they are having expertise in, which we are very proud to associate with. And we will be working with them going forward as well.
250 barley farmers received comprehensive eye screenings. Many were fitted with their first prescription glasses. Last year, over 70% were found to have uncorrected refractive errors. Research shows that corrected vision can improve productivity and quality of life. Clearer vision is both a health outcome and an economic enabler.
Farmer health is foundational to AB InBev's approach because agriculture is both physically demanding and it totally depends on human capacity and starts with your right vision. So I think this is the second year that we have done eye camps in partnership with Vision Spring at Bali Growers Day, because from seed sowing to grading to harvesting to checking the crop and the crop health, everything starts with the eye. So I think that's why it's an integral part of the initiative, where we ensure that every farmer that comes to our program or associated with our program has the right vision care. And this is the second year that we are doing it, where we have achieved around 94% of farmers coming in, doing a screening of their vision.
Rajasthan's Honorable Minister for Urban Development and Self-Governance, Shri Jhabbar Singh Kharra, joined as chief guest, underscoring the importance of public-private collaboration in strengthening the barley ecosystem.
सरकार अब प्राकृतिक खेती पर भी ज़्यादा जोर दे रही है और प्राकृतिक खेती के रूप में जो एक बेहतर विकल्प हो सकता है, ऐसे में वर्तमान समय की मांग के अनुसार किसान भाइयों को अपना फसल चक्र बाजार की मांग और परिस्थितियों के अनुसार परिवर्तित करते हुए वापस उस दौर की लौटना चाहिए जिसमें हम ऑर्गेनिक खेती करने के साथ साथ कम जल में उत्पन्न होने वाली फसलें, जो जैसे फसलों पर ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा जोर देकर उसका उत्पादन बढ़ाएं और अपने आप को आर्थिक रूप से मजबूत करें, ताकि अतिरिक्त आमदनी से आप अपने परिवार की भावी पीढ़ी को सुशिक्षित और सुसंस्कृत करने में खर्च कर उन्हें एक योग्य नागरिक के रूप में तैयार करने में सफलता प्राप्त करें।
After the break, the farmers at the heart of India's barley story take center stage.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार, विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
NDTV DP World PGTI returns for its 4th edition, teeing off at the KBG Club in Ahmedabad. Framed by serene vistas and a championship layout, India's leading professional golfers share the fairways with Ahmedabad's top corporate leaders in a showcase of skill, sportsmanship and connection. From pure ball striking to clutch putts on true rolling greens.
my team, our new auto show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice. The latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions.
It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide, and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma, and I am your Automate.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. INS Vikrant. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter prime minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our
The Barley Growers Day Awards recognize not just high yield but safety champions, progressive growers, and leaders advancing regenerative practices.
हम लॉन्ग टर्म से जुड़े हुए हैं इनके साथ, सो लॉन्ग टर्म अचीवमेंट एक अवार्ड इन्होंने अभी दिया है और बाकी लोग कर रहे हैं। किसी को ईयर ऑफ द अपना ये ग्रोअर ऑफ द ईयर का अवार्ड भी मिला है, तो काफ़ी सारे यहाँ वाइब्स आती हैं, अच्छी अच्छी देखते हैं, काफ़ी लोग आए हुए हैं, बड़ी अच्छी बात है, अच्छा इवेंट है। इवन हर किसान भी थोड़ा और सोचता है कि नेक्स्ट ईयर मैं भी कुछ ज़्यादा बढ़ा के खेती करूँ या कोई उसका फ्रेंड करे देख के उसको, तो फ़र्क तो होता है, इन चीज़ों से फ़र्क तो पड़ता है।
In a sector often defined by uncertainty, these growers offer a blueprint for resilient, future-ready agriculture. For AB InBev India, sustainable sourcing is not seasonal, it is a long-term commitment. This engagement goes beyond raw material procurement. It's about shared prosperity and inclusive growth across the value chain.
पहले से अब से काफ़ी फ़र्क आ गया जी। अब की बार एक तो नई वैरायटी मिल गई हमारे को AB InBev कंपनी की टीम ने, जो कि पिछली वैरायटी से बेहतरीन वैरायटी है, न तो उसका गिरने में भय लग रहा किसान को और पैदावार भी हमें उम्मीद अच्छी होगी।
पुरस्कार दे के AB कंपनी आगे किसानों को बढ़ाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, उनकी इच्छा बढ़ रही है, आगे के लिए हम भी लेंगे पुरस्कार, हम भी अच्छा काम करेंगे बाज़ार के अंदर या फिर अपना खेती बढ़ाएंगे।
By investing in trust, safety, and the soil itself, India's barley future is being built locally. Knowledge, safety, and regenerative practices are not optional, they are the path forward.
What makes India's program different is that it combines both research and development as well as agronomic support. And those teams together, in collaboration with the farmer, really design the future of sustainable farming for barley in India and beyond. We share the best practices and the learnings from the Indian program in our global teams with the rest of the world.
As the sun sets over Rajasthan's barley belt, one truth stands out. Cheers begins with cultivating trust. For the farmers here, this day was more than an event. It was recognition that their work and safety matters, and a clear signal that India's malt barley future will be grown at home.
From safety briefings to regenerative field practices, from vision care initiatives to farmer felicitation, sustainable agriculture begins with empowered farmers. As AB InBev scales domestic procurement and strengthens barley localization, partnerships like these will shape the future of India's malt ecosystem. For the farmers, this was not just a day of recognition, but a signal of long-term collaboration. Thank you so much for watching.
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
NDTV DP World PGTI returns for its 4th edition, teeing off at the KBG Club in Ahmedabad. Framed by serene vistas and a championship layout, India's leading professional golfers share the fairways with Ahmedabad's top corporate leaders in a showcase of skill, sportsmanship and connection. From pure ball striking to clutch putts on true rolling greens,
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice. The latest trends.
It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions.
It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right, Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran.
Just behind me.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Gaurie. Day 15 of the West Asia conflict as US strikes a key island in Iran, destroying military facilities there, while the US embassy in Baghdad is hit by a missile and UAE's oil storage facility in Fujairah is hit as well. This even as the energy crisis the world over deepens. Let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking. The US says it hit more than 90 military targets on the Iranian oil island of Kharg, destroyed naval mine storage facilities, missile storage bunkers. Iran says oil facilities remain intact. Iranian strike on UAE's Fujairah terminal triggers a massive fire. Some of the port's oil loading stations have been suspended following the attack. Iran strikes the US embassy in Baghdad. Iraqi sources say US embassy's helipad and radar system have been hit, while in Saudi Arabia, explosions reported at the Prince Sultan airbase. The government confirms that two India-flagged LPG carriers, the Shivalik and Nanda Devi, transited the Strait of Hormuz late last night. They're expected to arrive by the 16th or 17th of March. 22 India-flagged vessels still remain in the Persian Gulf. The government also says LPG supply remains a matter of concern due to the ongoing geopolitical situation, but maintains no stockouts have been reported. Once again appeals that panic booking should be avoided. Prime Minister Modi campaigns in West Bengal, trains guns at Mamata Banerjee's government during his mega rally in Kolkata, accuses the Bengal government of blocking central schemes and calls for an end to what he terms Maha Jungle Raj. After months of anticipation, Yo-Yo Honey Singh will return to the stage with My Story, the India chapter of his world tour curated by NDTV Good Times. All right, new details are emerging on last night's strikes by the United States forces on Iran's oil-producing Kharg Island. Remember, the president said that the island has been obliterated. However, more details have now been made available. According to the U.S. Central Command, the strike destroyed naval mine storage facilities, missile storage bunkers, and multiple other military sites. It further claims that the U.S. forces successfully struck more than 90 military islands while preserving the oil infrastructure on this island. Remember, this has Iran's key oil infrastructure, and even after it was announced that the island was struck, Iran maintained that their oil facilities continue to work, and oil is being treated there. However, the US has now come out with these further details, maintaining that it was only military facilities that were struck and not the oil infrastructure. So this aligns with what Iran had said earlier. And more breaking news coming in. Iran has listed conditions on ending the war. It has made a list of demands of the IRGC. A former IRGC commander has laid out these conditions. Mohsen Rezai says, end of the war is in our hands. This is something that many of those in charge in Iran have maintained, that the end of this war is in their hands. And they also said recover all losses from the US. That will be the first condition. The second condition is 100% guarantee for the future. Now, this is something that has been said by the former IRGC commander, the commander of the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. So, take this with a pinch of salt. But let's listen in to what Mohsen Rezai said.
پایان جنگ هم در دست ماست. ما زمانی پایان جنگ نگاه میکنیم که اولا تمام خساراتمون رو از آمریکا خواهیم گرفت، ثانیاً به یک تضمین 100% از آینده برسیم که اون بدون خروج آمریکا از خلیج فارس امکان پذیر نیست. بنابراین شرط دوم خروج آمریکا از خلیج فارس است.
All right, so the former commander of the IRGC, they're laying down those conditions. Well, let's take a look at all the developments on day 15 of the West Asia war as the U.S. struck the key oil island in Iran, while U.S. embassy in Baghdad has been struck by a missile and a drone strike was intercepted in Fujairah, in UAE's Fujairah. The U.S. Central Command shared details of last night's strike on Kharg. As we mentioned there, more than 90 Iranian military targets were hit. The strike destroyed various military facilities, and this aligned with the earlier comments from Iran, which said oil facilities, however, remained intact with exports fully underway. Earlier, U.S. President Donald Trump had said American forces had carried out one of the most powerful bombing raids on Kharg Island and had warned the U.S. could escalate further if Iran blocks the Strait of Hormuz, or rather continues to block the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, smoke rose from the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad after reports of an Iranian strike, with Iraq saying the compound's helipad and radar were hit. An explosion was also reported at the Prince Sultan Air Base near Riyadh, where Saudi Arabia says it intercepted 6 incoming drones. So all these developments on day 15 of the West Asia conflict.
I can't tell you that. I mean, I have my own idea, but what good does it do? It'll be as long as it's necessary. They've been decimated. Their country's in bad shape. The whole thing is collapsing. If you read some of the fake news, it's like, oh, they're doing wonderfully. They're not doing wonderfully. They're doing the opposite. They're doing as bad as you can have. I would say this. I won't give you time, but we're way ahead of schedule.
بسم الله قاسم الجبارین فمن اعتدى عليكم فاعتدوا عليه بمثل ما اعتدى عليكم واتقوا الله واعلموا ان الله مع المتقین. اخطار به رژیم متجاوز و شکست خورده آمریکا در پاسخ به اظهارات رئیس جمهور متجاوز و تروریست آمریکا اعلام می‌داریم در صورت حمله به زیرساخت‌های نفتی، اقتصادی و انرژی جمهوری اسلامی ایران، همانطور که قبلا اخطار داده بودیم، بلا فاصله کلیه زیرساخت‌های نفتی، اقتصادی و انرژی متعلق به شرکت‌های نفتی.
And let's now take a look at the defining images of the conflict over the last 24 hours. Now, dramatic visuals emerging from Lebanon. An Israeli strike hit an apartment building inside a narrow alley in Lebanon's Sidon, and the blast caught on camera shows smoke and debris erupting from the residential blocks as panic spreads through the neighborhood. New footage released by the Israel Defense Forces shows what it says are Hezbollah operatives hauling rockets into a weapon storage site in the southern Lebanese town of Majdel. Moments later, the video cuts to a powerful airstrike and explosion ripping through the depot. The IDF says the strike targeted the rocket stockpile before it could be used. Flames and thick black smoke lit up the skyline at UAE's Fujairah port early Saturday after an attack struck oil storage facilities at the strategic energy hub. It's the largest oil storage facilities in the UAE. The blast sparked a major fire at the terminal, sending plumes of smoke billowing over the Gulf as emergency crews rushed to contain it. Thick smoke was seen billowing over the U.S. Embassy compound in Baghdad after fresh strikes rocked the Iraqi capital. Explosions were reported inside the heavily fortified green zone, sending alarm sirens blaring. The strike marks a direct hit on a key American facility in Iraq. Now, in a major escalation, reports indicate ballistic missiles were launched from Bahrain towards Iran, marking what could be the first attack from a Gulf state on Iranian soil. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps said it has carried out 47th wave of missile strikes under Operation True Promise 4. Tehran claims the barrage targeted Israeli positions across occupied territories, signaling the campaign is far from over as the conflict intensifies. Dramatic surveillance footage now circulating online appears to show the exact moment an Iranian missile struck Israel's Nevatim air base. The impact flashes across the screen in seconds. Emergency crews were rushed to an open area near Holon in central Israel after an Iranian missile struck the location. Firefighters and rescue teams quickly secured the site. Authorities say no casualties were reported. Well, let's now shift focus to battleground Bengal, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed a mega rally in Kolkata today at the Brigade Parade Ground in what is being seen as the final leg of the BJP's Parivartan Yatra in the poll-bound state. Prime Minister launched a scathing attack on Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and took a Mahajangal Raj jibe against the Trinamool Congress government. He also called for a change of government in West Bengal. The rally comes days ahead of the expected poll date announcement, with the BJP looking to galvanize its cadre and supporters across the state.
अभी कुछ दिन पहले हमारे देश की महामहिम राष्ट्रपति आदिवासी समाज की बेटी आदरणीय द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी बंगाल आई थी। उन्हें संथाल आदिवासी परंपरा के पावन उत्सव में शामिल होना था, लेकिन अहंकार में डूबी इस निर्मम सरकार ने न केवल उस कार्यक्रम का बहिष्कार किया, बल्कि उसे पूरी तरह बदइंतजामी के हवाले कर दिया। क्योंकि एक आदिवासी बेटी इतने बड़े पद पर है, टीएमसी वालों को उनका सम्मान मंजूर नहीं हुआ। उन्होंने करोड़ों आदिवासियों का अपमान किया है। उन्होंने करोड़ों महिलाओं के सम्मान को ठेस पहुंचाई है। उन्होंने देश के सर्वोच्च पद की गरिमा को ठेस पहुंचाई है। इन्होंने भारत के संविधान का अपमान किया है। इन्होंने बाबा साहब आंबेडकर का अपमान किया है। और इसका जवाब बंगाल के लोगों से टीएमसी को मिलने वाला है, निर्मम सरकार को मिलने वाला है।
And finally, some entertainment news. After months of anticipation, rapper and music producer Yo-Yo Honey Singh is back live on stage. The singer will be kicking off the India chapter of his world tour, My Story, in Delhi today evening. Curated by NDTV Good Times, the tour promises more than just a concert. It's being billed as a narrative-led live experience where Honey Singh will not only perform his biggest hits, but also revisit key moments from his musical journey. After Delhi, the tour travels to Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Pune and Kota in the coming weeks, with more cities expected to be added. We spoke to the Chief Experience Officer of NDTV Good Times, Rahul Shaw.
Well, I'm right here at Indira Gandhi Indoor Stadium Arena here in New Delhi, where in moments from now, NDTV Good Times, Yo-Yo Honey Singh, My Story, India chapter, the concert will take place right here. It's going to be a jam-packed audience, but let's go across to NDTV Good Times Chief Experiences Officer Rahul Shaw, who's right here, the man behind the concert. Rahul, how excited are you?
Oh, don't ask me. Sleepless nights, you know, it's like a kid who's wanting to see what he wants to see.
Rahul, we are expecting 25,000 spectators here, and of course, Honey Singh back on stage after too many years.
Not really many years. He did the Millennium Tour about a year back, but what you see now, it's going to be a completely different act, completely different story. You will not see anything that he has done before. It's completely different. In fact, he narrates a story about himself through this concert.
That's what the fans are most excited about, that this concert is not something usual, because we'll see Honey Singh narrate his journey to the stardom. But can you give us more sneak peek into what the fans can expect from this concert?
Fan can expect excitement, something that they've never seen, and something that they perhaps will never get to see. Right? It's very different to see a concert. It's very different to see a song on YouTube or here on Spotify. But what you see here, a story. It's a story that you see here, and that's what people would enjoy.
Absolutely. Honey Singh has been a contemporary pop culture icon. Rahul, if I can ask you, what's your favorite song of Honey Singh?
Brown Rung.
And the latest one that you really like, which we can expect Honey Singh to perform here, because we also know that he will also tell us as to why some of his songs have become such huge hits.
So I love Mafia, and I also love Jadugar.
Brown Rung is also my favorite, but thanks very much, Rahul, for getting us the latest. Stay tuned to NDTV Network as we get you all the latest of Yo-Yo Honey Singh's My Story India chapter.
And that concert will begin today evening at 7 p.m. As we said, Yo-Yo Honey Singh is kicking off the India chapter of his world tour, My Story, with this concert in Delhi today. It's curated by NDTV Good Times. And as Rahul mentioned there, the tour promises to be more than just a concert. It's billed as a narrative-led experience where Honey Singh will not just perform some of his biggest, most loved hits, but will also revisit key moments from his musical journey and, his hiatus as well. He'll be sharing stories behind his chart-topping tracks and also reflect on his time away from the spotlight. Remember, he's been away from the spotlight for a significant period for several years. So he's going to talk a bit about that and then his big return. The show aims to give fans a glimpse into the journey that has shaped one of India's biggest pop culture icons. After Delhi, the tour will travel to Ahmedabad, Mumbai and Pune, and more cities are going to be added in coming weeks. In fact, as Rahul Shaw told us there, it is going to be very different from just a concert with performances. There's going to be narration as well and, sharing of stories. Let's go across to my colleague Rahesha, who joins us from there. And Rahesha, and, just about 45 minutes from now, the concert is going to be kicking off. And as Rahul told you there, it's not just a concert, it's also an experiential, performance. And Honey Singh is going to be sharing a lot during this. Tell us a bit about that.
Right, absolutely, Gargi. We are right here outside the Indira Gandhi Stadium. Let me just show you the vanity van here. This is where Honey Singh has arrived along with his full crew. Of course, security is tightened, but this is where the vanity van, everything is situated. Just half an hour from now, Honey Singh will be performing live right inside the stadium. We are expecting at least 25,000 spectators. It's going to be a jam-packed session. Of course, there's some audio issue here because of the jammers, but Honey Singh has arrived. He's right inside the vanity van. Like you mentioned, it is going to be an experiential experience for all the spectators here. And because he will not just be narrating his song, but also rather telling all of us how he reached the stardom. Back to you, Gandhi.
All right, Rahesha, thanks so much for joining us. Rahesha getting us all that build-up and excitement to the Yo-Yo Honey Singh concert. With that, we'll slip into a short break. More on the other side. Do stay with us.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's leading AI smartphone brand. Motorola Signature, India's #1 camera phone. Grab Motorola Signature today.
bene, sì, tu le bolle mie zutteriano, quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a sai la view. Mette bene in capire I love you. Papà l'americano.
करियर से अर्ली रिटायरमेंट हो या नए करियर की शुरुआत, रहो दोनों के लिए रेडी। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ रिटायरमेंट प्लान्स के साथ लॉक करें 10.2% गारंटीड एन्युटी रेट फॉर लाइफ। पीएनबी मेटलाइफ, ऑलवेज रेडी फॉर लाइफ।
NDTV DP World PGTI returns for its 4th edition, teeing off at the KBG Club in Ahmedabad. Framed by serene vistas and a championship layout, India's leading professional golfers share the fairways with Ahmedabad's top corporate leaders in a showcase of skill, sportsmanship and connection. From pure ball striking to clutch putts on true rolling greens.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends.
It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decision.
It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your automate.
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolle mie zutteriano, quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a sai la view. Mette bene in capire I love you. Papà l'americano.
Front lines of Kargil, the fury of operations Sindoor,
so many attacks,
the chaos and cries of disaster zones, to fighter jet cockpits, and the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break, live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
The man behind Roaring Lion.
Can you say a word?
Israel's warfighter Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth, and for the enormous friendship of the people of India. They are much admired and loved in Israel. And I won't get into the details of the conversation, but I've spoken to him and I've spoken to many other leaders in the region and beyond. Thank you.
First word since he declared war on Iran.
Just behind me, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
An NDTV World exclusive to Aditya Raj call. Benjamin Netanyahu on NDTV.
Devo bene, sì, tu le bolle mie zutteriano, quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a sai la view. Mette bene in capire I love you. Papà l'americano.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Straight from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gaurie, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
What if I told you that your devices are spying on you? There's AI in luxury cars. An iPhone chip is powering your new MacBooks, and Android devices have stopped innovating. Then, what would you say? You tell me that we are in 2026 and you're watching your favorite technology show, Tech 360, on NDTV. My name is Ayush Alavadi. Let's get some answers to these questions and get the show started. If I told you that this could be recording right now, the glares I'm wearing, is that something that's a little worrisome?
It's dangerous. As a parent, it is definitely something I don't want around my kids anywhere at all. A lot of time, in fact, most of the times people don't take consent. It's just natural, I guess, in our kind of community. But very few people will actually come and ask us, and we always deny permission, especially when they're shooting kids. So it's something like this where they don't need to ask permission or we are never going to find out about it. It's very dangerous. It's definitely very concerning.
Would you know if I was here right now that my glares are recording?
30 years back, this was also not there. So this will come.
So it's all right. It's not an issue at all. So you think this is the future? Maybe?
Yes, certainly this.
Boys, you know I'm recording you right now?
Is it still on? Just on.
No, it's not on. But you know I was recording you throughout that process? No?
It's not a camera.
This is a camera. Did you know that? You didn't know this was a camera. Did you know? Did you know? Okay, say honestly, basically these are the new Ray-Ban Metas. I'll get your take as well. You guys were doing a workout, even I could pull off 25 seconds. But, you know, this can be recording. I can stream straight onto Instagram from here. But more importantly, if this light, is it blinking right now?
Yeah, it is.
So now you know I'm recording you. But if I just come up to you here at skate park, and if I cover this light, now you don't know.
No, we cannot sense it.
Right?
Yeah.
Is it scary sometimes? You think people must be like, boss, my privacy is being violated?
Like to some people it might feel, but if you know that, how to explain? If you think it's cool, it's cool.
Okay, so you're cool with it?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
What about you, man?
Same thing. Same, it's cool and looking, we can record everything, like not using camera in hand.
Okay.
And hands will be free.
Now let's ask some more also. Come on, boys. Tell me something, boys. Have you seen these glasses that I'm wearing before?
Yeah, it's Ray-Ban Meta glasses.
Okay, so you would know that I'm recording you?
Yeah.
Does it scare you that, boss, he's recording?
No.
Ideally, shouldn't people confuse saying, boss, I'm recording you? It's okay. Because people are recording on the phone anyway.
Okay.
It's okay?
It's okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's okay. You can record it.
No problem?
No problem.
So these don't scare you at all?
No.
Even if someone else was seeing this feed, does it worry you?
Then I don't know.
All right. You know, that's what's interesting about new technologies like wearables. Companies are investing billions and selling us this dream of what wearables are all about. There are pros, but there are cons as well. And that's what we want to talk about today on Tech 360. For years, the tech industry has sold a vision of seamless automation. At least that's the goal. Glasses that understand what you're seeing. Robot vacuum cleaners that intelligently map your home. And grocery stores where you simply pick up items and walk out without stopping at a checkout counter. It's a future powered by AI, like everyone says, efficient, effortless, and almost magical. Almost too good to be true. Recent stories involving companies like Meta, DJI, and Amazon suggest the reality behind many of these systems is far more nuanced and complicated. What often appears to be or is marketed as fully autonomous AI can actually depend on hidden human intervention, vast amounts of data collection, and infrastructure that isn't always as secure as the marketing might suggest. Critics have started calling this phenomenon AI theater. The technology itself isn't fake. Many of these systems genuinely work. They can be useful, but the way they're presented can create the impression that everything is automated when the reality is far more complicated. Take Meta's Ray-Ban smart glasses, the ones I'm wearing, for example. The device allows users to ask an AI assistant using Meta AI questions about what they're seeing. So I can literally say, "Hey Meta, what is it you're seeing?" And it's already giving me feedback, identifying what the scenery is about, identifying objects, translating text, or explaining their surroundings. But some recent reports suggest things have turned a bit awry over there. Certain investigations by international media outlets reveal that some footage captured by the glasses, because there's a camera right here, can end up being reviewed by human data labeling contractors to help train Meta's AI systems. These are reports, and these reports suggest that contractors in Nairobi, that's in Kenya, have reviewed these clips coming from this feed coming from my eyes, from my glares, and whistleblowers claim that despite automated filters designed to remove sensitive content, some footage has included highly private moments recorded inside people's home.
We reached out to Meta for a comment. Their spokesperson provided the following statement.
But it's not just linked to one tech company. DJI, a very popular company, there's been some really spooky stuff that happened there. A software engineer experimenting with a DJI Romo robot vacuum recently reverse engineered how the device communicates with DJI servers and accidentally access control channels and data from thousands of units worldwide. And then the exposed information reportedly included live camera feeds of other DJI products, microphone access, floor maps of homes, all of our homes, our private spaces, and approximate device locations. Now, let me reiterate, private, potentially sensitive data from these devices was so easy to access. It's not just Meta and DJI. Remember Amazon's just walkout stores? The ones where you just had to put stuff in your basket and walk out of the store? But they were also reportedly found to rely in part on teams of workers in India. There was actually reviewers who were sitting in India, checking out all the shopping footage and everything that you added to the cart, verifying the purchases, prices, discounts, offers, correcting any mistakes made by the so-called automated system, and doing it manually, sitting thousands of miles away. So let's just understand what all of this really collectively means. Taken together, these stories highlight an important reality. Many AI-powered products today are really a mix of automation, human oversight, and massive data infrastructure, even if they're marketed as effortless, fully autonomous systems. The technology itself can be impressive, but as AI moves deeper into our homes, stores, our cars, our personal devices, users deserve far greater transparency about how it actually all works. Because if the intelligence is artificial, but the risks are real, it may be time to stop applauding this magic trick and start asking how this trick is being done. Start asking all the right questions. And that's what we're doing here on Tech 360. We hope you stay safe, stay alert, and stay tuned to this particular show to stay more informed. There's so much happening around the world, and of course we've covered what's happening in the world of AI, but the last week had been dubbed Apple Week by tech enthusiasts. Here on Tech 360, we were waiting with bated breath for the new MacBook Neo and the iPhone 17e. And ask and you shall receive. This is your exclusive first look of these two devices. I've come to a secret location to show you what these devices are all about, because we need to keep it under wraps so the rest of the world will be able to watch our content first. And we start off with something that's going viral on social media, the new MacBook Neo. Now, I spent some time with it at the showcase for creators, and that lovely citrus yellow is what everyone seems to be interested in. And then, of course, you also have a blush color. We have a very cool blue. This is a little bit like the iPhone 14, 15 time blue that they had come up with. But the biggest surprise of Apple Week is and was the MacBook Neo. It's a new entry-level Mac designed to bring more users into Apple's ecosystem, students especially. Instead of an M series chip, it runs on the 3nm A18 Pro processor from last year's iPhone 16 Pro series, paired with 8 gigs of unified memory and SSD storage up to 512 GB, which should comfortably handle everyday tasks like browsing, document editing, and streaming. Open it up, and the keyboard is also of the same color. You get a 13-inch display with 500 nits of brightness, up to 16 hours claim battery life, and a basic port setup with one USB-C 3.0 and one USB-C 2.0 port, starting at 69,900 rupees in India. Now, I put out a little piece of content on Instagram just to have some fun when the MacBook Neo was announced. And I was flooded with comments on that viral reel, with a lot of people asking me whether this is actually good for students, whether this actually signals the end of Windows laptops, whether this is a true bang for your buck. Can you use apps like Final Cut Pro, Lightroom, and all of those editing and intensive graphic processing apps on this particular device? Well, I did actually, at the Creator Showcase, try a few of these, and through the day, we've been testing it with all sorts of intensive tasks. And you know what? No fan. It's naturally cooled, and it hasn't broken a sweat yet. That said, is that what this is built for? Absolutely not. From a marketing standpoint, they've been very clear. This is for people entering the Apple ecosystem, or for students. The first time they want a Mac, maybe this is something you can go for. But for me, this is a marvel of engineering, and I've been saying this for the longest time, that if the future is singularity, if the future is convergence, this particular device that looks like a MacBook, it is a MacBook, runs on an iPhone chip. And this is their first attempt at this. It's going to get better as the years proceed. More importantly, you can do so much with this device. If, especially, you use it on an education student discount, you get this device for 59,900 rupees. This is without any other discounts. People use GST benefits and stuff like that. 59,900 rupees. If you were to just pit it against some Windows laptops that you get in your office or the ones you use in college, and you'll realize that this can do a lot. And I said it theoretically that it can do a lot, but now practically, yes, there is a lot of editing that you can do on this. There is a certain amount of gaming that you can do on this, but more importantly, all your daily tasks, everything that the Air can do, I think this can manage. Now, it comes in silver, blush, and citrus as well, and this is indigo. The early impression for me is that Apple is experimenting with a more approachable Mac, one that could challenge premium Chromebooks and potentially redefine what an entry-level MacBook experience feels like in 2026. And of course, at this Creator Showcase, I saw a bunch of iPads. We saw the new studio displays. I toyed around with the MacBooks as well, the MacBook Air and the MacBook Pro. But probably the most mainstream announcement by Apple in this week turns out to be the iPhone 17e. On paper, it fixes one of the biggest criticisms of Apple's previous affordable iPhones. That's actually this one, older internals. Now, it might look the same on the outside, but things have changed on the inside. This one gets an A19 chip, which is the same as the flagship iPhone 17 lineup, along with Apple's new C1X modem, which means performance and connectivity shouldn't feel like a compromise on the 17e. Apple sticks with a familiar formula elsewhere, a 6.1-inch display, a single 48-megapixel rear camera capable of 2x optical-like zoom, and no dynamic island. This time on the camera, there are a few of those nifty tricks that were not there last year. With the new chip now, that means even if you take a normal photograph and you want it to be made a portrait photograph, you can do that after you have clicked that picture. That said, a few quality of life upgrades help the phone feel more current. Base storage now starts at 256 gigs. MagSafe is here, which was a big miss last year. A lot of the accessories that we wanted to use didn't work. Now you have all those cool snap-on accessories. You can use the Apple MagSafe wallets. You can do a bunch of those things. And a starting price of 64,900 rupees in India. With all of this, the positioning is quite clear. The early impression is simple. The iPhone 17e may not be flashy, but for buyers who want a modern iPhone without paying flagship prices, it could very easily become the default choice. Then you know that there's so much more in the second half of your favorite technology show, Tech 360. There's so much from the world of AI, also from the world of the best devices around the world. We've crammed it all into one show. This is only a comma, not a full stop. I'll see you on the other side of a commercial break.
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी
को यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा!
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
TMC जावे, BJP आसमे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
BJP double engine সরকার এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে.
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
والنصف الأمارة تلونا وما تبذت إلا بيو متى بينك في عيلة بابا الأمريكانو.
West Asia at war. Netanyahu thanks Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Spoke to him at length yesterday. Thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth.
Israel opposition leader Yair Lapid speaks to NDTV.
Is there gonna be an Iranian Gandhi who will free his own people from oppression? So it's up to them.
Israel Foreign Minister Gideon Saar on NDTV.
Israel and US going to leave Iran in a complete chaos? Do you think that there will be a civilian leader who could take over?
Not Israel and not the US will decide who will lead the Iranian people.
The voices that matter speak first and exclusive to NDTV.
Across the country, he has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV Network. In a month that moved markets, shifted diplomacy,
The entire world.
and stirred political battlegrounds, India chose its news carefully. NDTV India and NDTV 24/7. #1 on YouTube. NDTV Network, streaming India's trust. Leading India's conversations.
NDTV DP World PGTI returns for its 4th edition, teeing off at the KBG Club in Ahmedabad. Framed by serene vistas and a championship layout, India's leading professional golfers share the fairways with Ahmedabad's top corporate leaders in a showcase of skill, sportsmanship and connection. From pure ball striking to clutch putts on true rolling greens.
Alright team, our new auto show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decision. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can.
In 2026, there's only two types of automotive companies. Ones that are innovating and the others that are struggling to innovate. And very few brands actually get the pulse of the end consumer, especially here in India and of course around the world. Technology is the true one and only differentiator, the USP for a lot of these companies. Call it the Tesla effect, the Elon Musk effect, but a lot of auto companies are trying to innovate and be perceived as tech-forward companies or tech-ready companies. Mercedes-Benz has been at the top of the heap for a long time when it comes to luxury cars, also with EVs and with a huge and strong core focus on technology. But they've really tried something different with their new CLA, a car that all of us tech enthusiasts have been waiting for with bated breath. Software right at the center of that vehicle, AI at your fingertips, and AI in all its shapes and forms. Here's our first impressions of the new Mercedes-Benz CLA.
If you think the all-new CLA is just another electric Mercedes-Benz, you're missing the point. The all-new CLA is a clear example of what a software-driven Mercedes-Benz looks like. Hey everyone, I'm Ishan. You're watching Tech 360 only on the NDTV networks. We're here in Nandi Hills, Bengaluru to test out what the new Mercedes-Benz CLA 250 Plus looks and feels like, and especially how it drives like in the real world. So let's get started.
The all-new Mercedes-Benz CLA debuts a completely new digital backbone called MB.OS. a proprietary chip-to-cloud architecture developed in-house by Mercedes-Benz. At the heart of the system is an NVIDIA chip capable of up to 508 trillion operations per second. The car runs the 4th generation MBUX infotainment system along with a new MBUX virtual assistant powered by AI tools including ChatGPT 4, Microsoft Bing and Google Gemini. Navigation also gets a major upgrade with bespoke Google Maps integration, offering MBUX surround navigation with real-time 3D visuals powered by a game engine. Supporting all of this is an extensive sensor suite. Power comes from an 85.5 kWh lithium-ion battery, delivering a claimed range of up to 792 kilometers. Interestingly, the efficiency gains were noticeable during our drive. When I started out, the car showed an available range of 475 kilometers, but after nearly 5 hours of driving, the range actually climbed to 492 kilometers, thanks in part to energy recuperation from braking, especially when driving through the Nandi Hills.
We've shown you what the exterior of the CLA 250 Plus looks like. Let's take you inside and show you what the interiors are all about. Just to give you a highlight of what the interior of the CLA 250 Plus looks like, you also have this very cool feature. It's the driver or the interior camera. So what you can essentially do here is record videos, but for that you'll have to connect a USB to it. With this camera you can also attend your meetings on the go, and it also supports the browser. The main highlight of the CLA 250 Plus is how this car operates. It uses the MBOS operating system and it makes the car very intelligent. I'll just show you a glimpse of the AI assistant that this car uses. All that you need to say is, "Hey Mercedes,
yes,
I want to go to Mumbai and I want to know how many charging stations would I require to reach Mumbai and what will be capacity of the battery when I reach Mumbai."
The active route is deleted. I will now navigate us to our new destination, Mumbai. Two charging stops with an estimated total charge time of 44 minutes are planned on your route. Your estimated driving time to Mumbai is 17 hours and 13 minutes.
According to the AI assistant in this car, it would take only 2 charging stops to reach Mumbai from Bengaluru, and that is 988 kilometers. That's an insane claim, and by the end of it, I would still have 40% charge left.
Inside, the CLA features a tech-heavy dashboard with a 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster and a 14-inch central infotainment display, both angled by 6 degrees to reduce reflections during day and night driving. The CLA 250 Plus comes standard with AMG line interiors, including star pattern trim, turbine-style air vents, brushed aluminium accents, an AMG steering wheel, and aluminium pedals. The two-tone sport seats look and feel premium, though taller drivers may find entry and exit slightly tricky due to the car's low stance. For convenience, the cabin includes 600-watt fast-charging USB-C ports, along with a wireless charging pad for smartphones.
The CLA with EQ technology doesn't feel like a regular traditional EV. It feels more like a smartphone that will just keep getting better after every software upgrade. So this was our review of the CLA 250 Plus. What do you think about this newly launched EV or a gadget from Mercedes-Benz? Do let us know in the comments and keep following Tech 360 for more such tech and auto tech videos.
Hey Meta, stop recording. And just like that, the light has stopped blinking. I solemnly swear I'm not using those blockers. I am not recording you without your consent. We just want you to be informed and of course understand technology as we, as students of tech, are also exploring the different realms of this fascinating topic, this fascinating science. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Of course, it's been absolutely unprecedented that a lot of these AI companies and tech companies have sort of been spying on you. What's also been unexpected is that you now have a MacBook with an iPhone chip from last year being launched and is doing a good job. You also have the new iPhone 17e, and more importantly, you have Android devices which aren't necessarily keeping pace with the times. So it's been an action-packed show, of course, with AI in your vehicle that's actually useful, and so much more. We hope you've enjoyed this particular episode of Tech 360. My name is Ayush Elavadi. Until next week, adios.
The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Center.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a stare la view? Mette bene in cappi di I love you. Papà l'americano.
इनको यहाँ से जाना ही होगा।
जय मां दुर्गा। और क्यों रोए?
There is no bigger battle in 2026. And nobody has reported Bengal like I have. Buckle up for an unforgettable election thriller. Will the BJP breach Mamta's fortress?
टीएमसी जावे, बीजेपी आसमे.
Can Didi fight off her life's biggest challenge?
बीजेपी डबल इंजिन सरकार এই লড়াই বাঁচতে হবে।
Battleground Bengal with Manogya Loiwal.
West Asia at war. Netanyahu thanks Prime Minister on NDTV.
I spoke to our great friend, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, spoke to him at length yesterday, thanked him for his standing with Israel, standing for the truth.
Israel opposition leader Yair Lapid speaks to NDTV.
Is there gonna be an Iranian Gandhi who will free his own people from oppression? So it's up to them.
Israel Foreign Minister Gideon Saar on NDTV.
Israel and US going to leave Iran in a complete chaos? Do you think that there will be a civilian leader who could take over?
Not Israel and not the US will decide who will lead the Iranian people.
The voices that matter speak first and exclusive to NDTV.
Devo bene, sì, tu la bolla mia italiano. Quando si fa l'amore sotto luna, come te va a stare la view? Mette bene in cappi di I love you. Papà l'americano.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones, brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Call, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network. In a month that moved markets, shifted diplomacy,
The entire world.
and stirred political battlegrounds, India chose its news carefully. NDTV India and NDTV 24/7. #1 on YouTube.
Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. It's day 15 of the West Asia conflict as more targets are hit in the region and the energy crisis the world over intensifies. All that and more coming up ahead. Let's take a look at the headlines we're tracking. The United States says it's hit more than 90 military targets on the Iranian oil island of Kharg, says it's destroyed naval mine storage facilities and missile storage bunkers. Iran says its oil facilities remain intact. Iran's strike on UAE's Fujairah port oil terminal triggers a massive fire. Some of the port's oil loading operations have been suspended following the attack. Iran also strikes the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. Iraqi sources say the U.S. Embassy's helipad and radar system have been hit, while in Saudi Arabia, explosions reported at the Prince Sultan airbase. The government confirms in a press briefing that 2 India-flagged LPG carriers, the Shivalik and Nanda Devi, have transited the Strait of Hormuz late last night. They're expected to arrive in India by March 16th or 17th. 22 Indian-flagged vessels still remain in the Persian Gulf, carrying over 600 seafarers. Prime Minister Modi trains his guns at Mamata Banerjee's government during his mega rally in Kolkata, accuses the Bengal government of blocking central schemes and calls for an end to what he terms Maha Jungle Raj. And Yo-Yo Honey Singh returns to the live stage with his My Story World Tour. The India chapter of his world tour, curated by NDTV Good Times, has kicked off in New Delhi. It's day 15 of the West Asia war as the US has struck a key oil island in Iran, while the US Embassy in Baghdad has been struck by a missile, and a drone strike was intercepted in the UAE's Fujairah, though a massive fire broke out. Now, the US Central Command shared details on last night's strike on the Kharg Island, saying more than 90 Iranian military targets were hit while preserving the oil infrastructure on the island. The strike destroyed missile storage bunkers and multiple other military sites. This aligns with the earlier comments that had been made by Iran, which said that the oil facilities on the island remains intact with exports fully underway. So that is what Iran had said in response to what US President Donald Trump said, where he claimed that American forces had carried out one of the most powerful bombing raids on Kharg Island and warned that the US could escalate further if Iran continues to block the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, Iran has put out 2 conditions to end this ongoing war.
I can't tell you that. I mean, I have my own idea, but what good does it do? It'll be as long as it's necessary. They've been decimated. Their country's in bad shape. The whole thing is collapsing. If you read some of the fake news, it's like, oh, they're doing wonderfully. They're not doing wonderfully. They're doing the opposite. They're doing as bad as you can have. I would say this. I won't give you time, but we're way ahead of schedule.
پایان جنگ هم در دست ماست. ما زمانی به پایان جنگ نگاه میکنیم که اولا تمام خساراتمون رو از آمریکا خواهیم گرفت. ثانیاً به یک تضمین 100% باید از آینده برسیم که اون بدون خروج آمریکا از خلیج فارس امکان پذیر نیست. بنابراین شرط دوم خروج آمریکا از خلیج فارس است.
بسم الله قاسم الجبارین فمن اعتدى علیکم فاعتدوا علیه بمثل ما اعتدى علیکم واتقوا الله واعلموا ان الله مع المتقین. اخطار به رژیم متجاوز و شکست خورده آمریکا در پاسخ به اظهارات رئیس جمهور متجاوز و تروریست آمریکا اعلام می‌داریم در صورت حمله به زیرساخت‌های نفتی، اقتصادی و انرژی جمهوری اسلامی ایران همانطور که قبلا اخطار داده بودیم بلا فاصله کلیه زیرساخت‌های نفتی، اقتصادی و انرژی متعلق به شرکت‌های نفتی در سراسر منطقه که دارای سهام آمریکایی میباشند و یا با آمریکا همکاری میکنند نابود و به تلی از خاکستر تبدیل خواهند شد. ان الله عزیز ذو انتقام.
Aditya Raj Kaul, who is covering the war from Israel, spoke exclusively with top Israeli military IDF voice Brigadier General Efi Defrin on 15 days of the conflict. Listen into what he said.
Brigadier General, one question about the north, where you have been targeting Hezbollah. I believe 300 to 500 terrorists have been eliminated from Hezbollah. But there are also charges coming in that there's a ground offensive that's underway. There are airstrikes and drone strikes. A Christian community has been targeted there as well. Are there collateral damage? Are they part of Hezbollah? What is your justification on that?
Again, let me elaborate on that a little bit. To remind you, Hezbollah, about 10 days ago, opened fire first in Israel. We had a ceasefire agreement. They opened fire. They knew the consequences. They knew the results, and we are hitting back and hitting back very hard. We have to stop the threat. It's posing threat. Hezbollah is posing threat on our civilians. They are hitting our villages along the blue line, which is almost the international border with Lebanon, and we are deepening the defense on our villages along the border. This is what we are doing now. Now again, like Hamas in Gaza, like this terror regime in Iran, and like Hezbollah in Lebanon, they are using the same methods in order to stop us and accusing us in committing war crimes. This is not truth. What happened last week was Hezbollah activists, Hezbollah terrorists trying to launch anti-tank missiles from a Christian village, and one of the people there, one of the leaders, one of the religious leaders there, unfortunately, he tried to stop them. He was hit by the counterfire coming from Israel. And even the Lebanese themselves, and even this Christian community is blaming Hezbollah and not Israel, because they understand Hezbollah is a threat to Lebanon. The entire Lebanese people, the different ethnic groups there, they are calling for the demilitarizing of Hezbollah. It's a proxy of Iran. It's an arm of Iran. It's part of the Quds Force, the Revolutionary Guard in Iran. It's not an entity, an independent entity. They were trying to present themselves as protectors of Lebanon. This is not right, and their true nature is coming out. Why did they attack Israel? Why did they do so 10 days ago? What is the Lebanese interest here? There is not. You see in the last 10 days, last 2 weeks, unprecedented calls coming from the Lebanese president to the Lebanese prime minister. Even the chief of defense is calling for a direct talks with Israel.
Right.
I hope one day it will happen. We have no reason to have war with Lebanon. I really hope they join the Abraham Accords and we'll have peace treaty with them soon without Hezbollah. It's a cancer in this body.
When the operation was launched, there was a media report that these are preemptive strikes. Now we are looking at a full-fledged escalation that has, now been 2 weeks. Today is the 15th day of the conflict. What is the exact objective that you're looking at? One, when it comes to Hezbollah. Second, when it comes to the Iranian regime. Are you trying to completely eradicate the Iranian government right now, the top functionaries, and secondly, the Hezbollah, because that threat has been persistent for last many years?
Well, I'll tell you that. As a military, first thing first, Iran and Hezbollah are connected. It's the same body. It's the body of the octopus, it's the head of the octopus in Tehran, and one of his arms, his biggest arm in Hezbollah in Lebanon. So it's connected. You hit Iran, they are weakened in Lebanon, and we are hitting them as well in Lebanon. At the same time. Now, we as a military, we don't have any aim to remove any regime. We are not acting in order to create a regime change in Iran. We are acting to weaken and dismantle his military capabilities and the regime's capabilities to hurt or harm Israel. And we have thousands of targets. We are talking about ballistic missiles aimed at Israel. We are talking about the nuclear program. We are talking about air defense systems in order for our air force to act freely. By the way, amazingly, 2,500 away from Israeli borders. And they do so, they act freely. And also their military production in order to stop future threats on Israel. So this is the families of targets we are acting against. We have nothing against civilians or against the Iranian people. We want to have peace with them in the future. And I really hope they will change. It's up to them. For the Iranian people, we know that more than 70% of the Iranian people, they don't like this, they hate this regime. You see the demonstrations around the world. You see the pictures and video clips of regime's Basij force, the internal force in the police in Tehran, on pickup trucks with machine guns, shooting freely his own people. This is the nature of this regime. So this is what we are trying to achieve. We are trying to weaken this regime in order to remove this existential threat and in order for the people in the future, the Iranian people, to take their country back to their hands. Same things in Lebanon. There is an opportunity now. Hezbollah is panicking because he is losing his sponsor in Iran and his funder and his trainer. So they are panicking now. They are hitting Israel. We are hitting them both. Inshallah, hopefully for a better future for all of us.
Now, a big statement by Iran's envoy to India and some relief for India. Tehran's ambassador, Mohammad Fatali, has said that Iran has granted limited safe passage to several